Well, I hope you're ready for some unindoctrination because ready or not, here it comes wall to wall, treetop tall, coast to coast, border to border, and beyond. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower. I'm your mailman. We're 15 short as far as followers go on Rockfin of 12,000. Thank you for that. And if you're watching and you normally watch and you haven't followed yet on Rockfin, it's super easy. It's simple. You don't have to pay. I'd mean a lot if we could go over 12,000. Thank you very, very much. Tonight, The Light of Darkness, A Warrior's Tale for Our Time, Part 2. And we'll be focusing on the partnership of church and demons. That's right. And the rise of extraterrestrial rulership. We're going to do what we can here on YouTube for as long as we can do it. And then we'll be gone over to Rockfin, our go-to platform. We're also on the Evangelical Hour YouTube channel. We're also on the Flee the Watchtower YouTube channel. We're on Twitch. We're on Twitter. We're on Odyssey. We're on Rockfin, our go-to channel, as I have said already. And on Rockfin, we have Vicky Lloyd. We have Cheryl Ann on Rockfin. We've got Freedom Dagger on Rockfin. We got Samo Wonder on Rockfin. We've got a lot of other people that aren't in the chat room yet. It's okay. You can be shy. We don't mind whatsoever. Am I doing this right? Let me make sure I got this set up where I can see what people are saying to the best of my ability. And it looks like we got that all set up. Okay, Cruz Michael, Eric Daly, Tim O'Keefe, Emperor Rex, Plain and Simple, Jan Simp, Joyce, Christy, Bonnie, heading for a little vacation, Carmen, Two Trees. Let's see who else we got on here. I think Charles Glenn is also here. So there you go, folks. We're up to date on the Rockfin side. And on the YouTube side, we've got a big crowd again. I will put it down. I'll put the URL in before we go, but we're going to have to leave. I Own Sky, Super Galactic. We have Renee is with us. Millennial Awakening is with us. Who else we got in here? Super Galactic, already said. Dana Young, Jama's here. Snake Dagger, Linda Fiske, SS, Dana. She's up in New York. I understand you're getting a lot of snow. Spacey Casey making an appearance. Nice to see you. It's been a minute. Brother Norb is with us. Brian Roy is with us. I am Nancy. I'm not, but she is. Alex is with us. Gia is with us. And, of course, Steve Borg, Resistance. Tomorrow night, it'll be a little odd, but no deprogram tomorrow night. And the reason why is because I guess there's a national touring company called a Drag Christmas or a Drag Queen Christmas. I think it's just called a Drag Christmas. In other cities, in other states, they've invited children. There's nudity. There's simulated sexual intercourse. It's a horrible thing for children. Horrible thing for people, period. I will call in the morning and ensure that they are allowing children in. And if they are, I'll be part of a group that said they'll be there. It might be me outstanding in my own field, but I'll be going to protest the drag queen or just the drag Christmas show. I'll be there to protest it. We'll do it a la Alex Stein 99 on the line, primetime style. And we will be doing it. We'll be standing up and we'll be counted. It's time for all of us to do this. SS from Portugal. Nice to see you. Colin Braniff. Mark Howard's here too. So we won't do that tomorrow night because that's going to happen at 7 o'clock. I'll be in downtown Kansas City at the Midland Theater. It's on Main Street. If you're in the area, I understand there'll be some more people there, but we'll see. We'll see. But tonight we've got business to do. So let's start doing that business. Let's jump right into our D program. And tonight, coming from the book by Robert Weigland and Bruce McDonald, The Light and the Darkness. And this will be part 2. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Now, we mentioned this on the way out of our last D program, which I believe was on Friday night. And Christianity, Judeo-Christianity, the lie of Judeo-Christianity. You're welcome. Thank you all. The lie of Judeo-Christianity has us avoiding risk. It has us avoiding adversarial opposition. And to live life without an adversary is to risk never growing. Adversity can be your best friend in life, and actually, diversity is your best friend in life. Now, you don't go looking for adversity. I wouldn't go looking for adversity. But when it finds you, and it will, meet it squarely with your feet planted on the ground. It's there to make you a human being. It's better to make you there to make you a better human being. And true human transformation is an endless series of conflicts. It's as though the entire natural world exists on predation, and it's replicated inside each and every one of us. But instead of larger creatures in nature looking to consume us, the beings and the entities on the other side who require the energy that we produce are here to prey upon us. So in every phase of life, we cultivate energy, but how we spend that energy, that directs the outcome of our life. And it's always best, this man suggests, I'm examining this, I threw it out for your examination as well, to consider the idea of finding someone to make offerings to, finding a deity, a god, a goddess that you have affinity with, that you can lovingly, knowingly, wholeheartedly offer energy to, make offerings to. I know it sounds crazy. I'm throwing it out for your thoughtful consideration. But it is, he thinks, and I'm considering it, that, wow, it is the best way to expand your consciousness. Everything's an economy in this world. And if you look around, everything is. And if this is the thing that's not an economy in this world, then it's the only thing that's not an economy. So it has me thinking about it. The best way to become the best version of yourself is to enter into a spiritual economy, this author suggests. And when you offer your best energy to the creator, when you offer your best energy to a god, a goddess, you're actually investing in that creator. And your best energy is offered up in gratitude, and the dividends can be astounding. Remember, everything is an economy. This is the greatest secret in this author's mind that we're not told. And it's very, very interesting. Gia has an altar to Freya. I think about the great goddess Danu. If I can give some honor to Danu, if I can go to Danu and say, Danu, I respect you, I have affinity with you, I will make your name known to all the cousins. I will make your name known to the thousands of people that we reach on this deep program. We will make your name known. And that puts me into a place where I've invested in Danu, and it puts her in a debt situation to me. And nature demands balance. So if I give to Danu because I've determined that Danu is worthy, then that means Danu is in a place where to keep balance in the universe. And if you're a goddess, you do want to do that, where Danu will give back to me. It's interesting. You got to be very, very careful. But everybody, when you enter into this economy, is a shareholder. Everybody gets invited to the meetings, the shareholder meetings. And wow, the shareholder meetings themselves, it is said, are better than the dividends that you get. So, wow. Is it pushing the envelope? Is it expanding paradigms? Yes. Am I saying you should do it? All I'm saying is you might want to consider it. And I am considering it because it makes a lot of sense. But anyway, on we go. I think most of you know and understand that there's spiritual energy in human blood. And may I say, let me just go back for a minute. The reason why this idea of giving to a God and receiving from a God, the reason why it might seem bad or not a good idea to us is because of our 1,000 year, the millennial bondage that we've been placed under by the Bible God. That's a God you don't want to enter into an economy with. But all of you have entered into, most of you that listen to me have entered into an economy with the Bible God, at least at some time in your life. But it's a bad deal because you give and 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 you give. And all he does is take, 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 take. That's a bad economy. And we've all got our spiritual economy viewed exclusively through those Stockholm syndrome glasses, if you will. So just because you got involved with a bad God one time doesn't mean you give up on all gods. And the Bible God is amongst the worst of them. And I don't blame you. And that's why I've often said that sometimes when you come out of Christianity, which I hope you will, a lot of times it's a requisite stop in atheism because you got to get yourself clean and pure. And if you used to be a Jehovah's Witness and you went to just being a Christian, you never got out of the watchtower. You're still a slave. You just don't know it. You're still a slave. You just don't know it. So anyway, there's spiritual energy in human blood. And it exists to a much lesser degree in some of the animals around us. So I've got someone that keeps banging, 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 banging. I've got to say to you, don't ride your vegan hobby horse into this discussion. You know, vegans are so much like Christians. Christians, they don't want you to worship any God but their God. And vegans, they don't want you to eat any way but the way they eat. People that aren't Christians, I'm not a Christian, I don't care what God you worship. I'm trying to give you the best news. I'm trying to give you the best information so you can make that decision. I'm a keto carnivore. I don't care if you're a vegan. I think it's bad for you, but it's up to you. It's your decision. But vegans and Christians, they're both mean and crazy and nasty. This is not a discussion about veganism. And if you had listened to me, my vegan friends, you would have heard me say that the reason why they go after human blood and not animal blood is because it takes sentience to get the highest from the blood. It's an economy. They don't want the low-grade blood. They want the high-grade blood. Come on now. Come on now. Work with me. I don't care if you're vegan. I think it's bad for you. I wish you'd make a better decision. But hey, it's up to you, okay? So just don't ride that hobby horse into this corral. It's all an economy. And you folks that are Christians and to a wider degree religious at all, you have no ideas what your leaders are really doing. And the more religious you are, the more religious you are, the less spiritual you are. The more Christian you are, the less spiritual you are. It's just a fact. Every religion and spiritual path in this realm has a purpose. It's a highly complicated and multi-layered reality that we're living in. In Christianity, whether you wanted to admit it or not, it's an offshoot of the Abrahamic root of Judaica. And the Jewish faith has never been about heaven. It's never been about an afterlife. Not that they deny those things exist, but the goal of the Jewish faith, the goal of the Jewish religion is to bring God into this world. That's why Christianity is all about the second coming. Okay? For quite some time, Magic has been used on the human race to hide the truth from us. And if you don't practice magic, the only thing you know about magic is the deception that you receive from it. Magic sets ideas and philosophies inside your mind that become so entrenched that despite their counterintuitive, counter-spiritual, and downright silly nature, you accept them. That's the true practice of magic. That's why a guy who's smart, who spent 20 years in the watchtower as a full-time pioneer, not going to say his name, you know who he is. That's how he can be that smart and still not see that he doesn't even believe the Bible that he says he believes. Because his mind is controlled by magic. It's become so entrenched. It's become so controlled, even though it's counterintuitive, even though it's contra-spiritual. They just can't see it because they're under magical possession. Hello, Linda Thompson and Carmen Gibbs and Brother Norb and RP Brothers and Pearl Jones. I'm just trying to give you what you need to set yourself free. And Cynthia and I had a little weird discussion the other day. We have a lot of weird discussions, but we're talking about a certain rapist that's making it big on YouTube. And that's as far as I'll go. But I was complaining a little bit because all these guys and all these girls, they're making cults. Am I not cult worthy? How come I don't have a cult following? How come I was just feeling a little unloved. Why can't I have a cult? These guys have cults. These girls have cults. Am I not cult worthy? Of course, I go out of my way and always have gone out of my way to tell you I'm not your guru. You have to guide your own spirit. You have to master your own ascension. You have to be your own guru. I'm not here to be that guy. I'm not here to be that guy. But so many people want to be that guy. They want to be that girl. And sadly, people want to follow a guru. It's unbalanced, dark magic. Unbalanced, dark magic. I'm not here to set any ideas or any philosophies inside your mind, except that you're divine, sovereign, and free. I'm not here to try to get you entrenched in anything other than don't go on bended knee to somebody else's savior. I'm here to teach you to think for yourself. I am sponge-worthy, two trees. I was thinking about it, but I didn't know how many old people like us would pick up on it. I am sponge-worthy. That's magic. And the same people that are in control of Judeo-Christian magic are in control of Madison Avenue media. Right? Advertising. And really, advertising is a form of mental abuse. It's a second cousin to the darker magic that rules us on a governmental and institutional level, or free market magic as opposed to institutional magic, if you will. And the religion and the media, the government, it's run by extraterrestrials. People that openly say we are from the other side. People that openly say we are from beyond. The name they use for themselves that I can't see on YouTube means from the other side, from the beyond. They admit they're extraterrestrials. We have been influenced heavily by races that are not human. They're extraterrestrials. Richard Solomon is here. Nice to see you. The one among them that gets our attention the most of these extraterrestrial races are the reptilians, right? Everybody knows about the reptilians. Everybody knows about the reptilians. And if you're a flat earth person, or if you're not a space person, listen to the words I say. What does extraterrestrial mean? It means from extra territory. Okay? We're on YouTube. We tiptoe through the tulips just a little bit before we go on to the deep stuff. Thank you, Brother Norb. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. In the book of Psalms, you have references to the seraphim, which if you get into it and look at it in the original Hebrew, I know most of you Christians don't even read the Bible, and none of you almost study the Bible, meaning getting into the Greek. Karen Steele's here, getting into the Hebrew. But a seraphim is a dragon. It's a serpent-like being. Angels are seraphim. It's a reptilian being, and it comes out of the Hebrew Bible. Oops. Is that the word he was talking about that means from the other side or from beyond? And these reptilians, as long as we know, have been on this planet. And by the way, there's good reptilians and there's bad reptilians. They're an indigenous Earth race. They're from Earth, but they're extraterrestrials. Thank you, SS. They're from Earth, but they're extraterrestrials. What is this guy saying? You got to get a little deep. You got to do a little thinking. You got to do a little thinking, cousins. They're an indigenous race. There was a time in our past where human beings and reptilians that we think of reptilians walked together. Now, today, it's not that way anymore. These extraterrestrials, and to some extent reptilians, but we're getting a little bit off the beaten path here through cloaking and other things like that. They walk right by you, and you wouldn't even know them. And there's also hybrids because there's been intermarriage. But the reptilians are a race that is presently living mostly underground on this planet. And I wonder if these extraterrestrials that we're talking about aren't also living under the ground. And we'll show you reasons why I asked this. They're profoundly psychic up to the fourth dimension, or what's called in classic esoterica, the astral plane. They can create dreamscapes within a person and abduct people. And isn't that what the people that run Hollywood are doing? What is Hollywood if it's not the creation of a dreamscape? What is television if it's not the creation of a dreamscape? What is media if it's not the creation of a dreamscape? What is CNN, Fox, ABC, NBC, MSNBC, all of them? What are they if not production and creation of dreamscapes? What are the rapists and psychopaths on YouTube that you follow doing other than creating dreamscapes? Oh, some of you are saying, oh, I think I know what he's saying. See, I'm not here to tell you. I'm here to get you to come to it on your own. And that's a real skill. Anybody can say, here's the truth, believe it or else. It's a lot different when you can lead a person down by the river and they start drinking themselves. That's what I do. That's what I do. This is the basis of our enemy, the extraterrestrials' fascination with us. You see, they're simultaneously jealous of us while at the same time being possessed of a profound superiority, or really an inferiority complex. They think they're superior, but yet they're jealous of us, which makes them realize that they're really inferior. If it sounds like a contradiction, it's because it is. It's not. Did you really think that true enlightenment was easy? Religion's easy. It's simple. Do what you're told. Enlightenment, optimization, unindoctrination, true spirituality. That's not supposed to be easy. And if it is, you're in the wrong place. Now, it's not just reptilians, regardless of how you think about them. They're not the only negative, quote unquote, being that's around here that can possess a human being. Did you know that if you are opening yourself, and I wish I was on YouTube right now because there's a special kind of expulsion from bodies that's taking place right now and creating empty shells that ejected consciousnesses have been forced to flee so that these things can come in. And there's dead human beings that are now coming into these especially evacuated humans. And this is a good time to talk about nanosoma and focused life force energy. They're the 1-2 punch for optimization and unindoctrination. Did you know you're a physical being? Touch yourself wherever you want. You're a physical being. Nanosoma, when you spray the sprays under your tongue, it instantly goes into your cells and it goes to work. It helps knock out everything from you that's not supposed to be there, however it got into you. And it helps optimize you on a physical basis. Did you know you're a spiritual being? That's where focused life force energy comes in. Because focused life force energy, it lovingly wraps you like slipping into a warm bath into a field of high consciousness. And it mitigates 5G and other energetic irregularities that aren't good for you. So I'm telling you, FLFE now does have FLFE infused music. I just got the email today. We'll talk about that. Thank you, Two Trees. It's freaking amazing. Jeff, I can't believe it. That's why they give you a 30-day free trial. Go to jeffreydarty.com. Click on that Focus Life Force Energy logo. Click on that Nanosoma logo. They make the difference between optimization and unindoctrination and just being another Stockholm Syndrome drone. It's up to you. So, there's other things in this realm that want to get you, that want to control you. Dead human beings, older entities not related to any form can come in and possess if you open yourself up. It may well be that these old principalities exist as a part of the original cosmology and things that the Bible talks about called Belial, called Mammon, called Moloch. The Bible and Christianity associates these things with you, get you thinking about them, get you open to them. Think about it. And the real goal of this mammon is to control the consciousness of human beings so that the energies of men are in service to him. Mammon is always being compared to money. It's being compared to money because money, like nothing else, controls the consciousness of human beings. Belial is a seducer, a distractor. Judeo-Christianity is a beautiful example. It's the one that comes to us more through senses and sensuality, inverting these things so that the beautiful and divine becomes the ugly and demonic. It's Belial that takes the male love and the male attraction and the male lust, which is not a bad word, for the female form. You see a woman walking down the street and she's fine. You're like, damn, she's fine. Now, the Bible tells you you're going to go to hell for that. That's because the Bible is against you. It takes that which is beautiful and sensual and powerful and inverts it and makes you think it's bad and gets you hooked on porn that comes from the extraterrestrials. Moloch's kind of like the enforcer. He scares you into doing what he wants you to do. And what's the most precious thing amongst us? Why am I missing the show tomorrow? Because they work through the children. Baal, Baphomet, Mammon, Belial, Moloch What do these all have in common? They're all biblical entities. SS says she reads Miguel Serrano, Nimrod de Rosario. Do I know them? Oh, yes, I do. He's not actually. Serrano was Chilean. Maybe Rosario is Argentine. And of course, don't forget Savitri Devi. We have to be very careful here on YouTube. But yes. Yes. Thank you for mentioning that. We'll be talking about that Friday. So the root of all this is absolute contempt for the human race, for our connection, and for our connection to nature. That's why they got us out of the groves. That's why they got us out of the trees. That's why they got us out of nature, because when we stay connected to nature, we don't do stupid things like give our lives and our hearts and our souls and our thetans to dead rabbis on a stick. And did you hear about the new Dagger talk? So, Argentina came up. Argentina won the World Cup. And did you hear the big, I think that's soccer. Nobody cares about soccer in this country. Can't be the greatest sport in the world. Nobody in America cares about it, but I don't care about sports anyway. But anyway, the big controversy is Argentina won the World Cup, but they didn't have any black players. I wonder, Dagger, if they'll try to take the World Cup away from them because they didn't have any black players. And it's kind of amazing that they won without black players, because let's face it, black people are faster, jump higher, run faster. They're better athletes by and large than white people. So it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. But anyway, some people try to rationalize, suggest, really, it's just runaway biological addictions. Really, it's the shiny stuff. Really, it's sex. Really, it's power. Maybe it's just humans. No, it's not just humans. It is humans, but it's also more than humans. It is an extraterrestrial race whose major goal is the destruction of the human race. And this affects every single religious person in our realm, regardless of their religion, because religion is a gateway. And once all of this is properly understood, there's no fear. The problem is we got lazy and we let our spiritual defenses down and we let the foxes into the hen house, just as the Jesus character predicted that we would, and we have, and he's got most of you. But it's not too late to set yourself free. What do you mean Jesus predicted it? Well, you can see the words of Christ in red, right? That red is the blood of children, by the way. But anyway, and it's called rubrification. The Jesuits did it. And a rube is a stupid person. I'm just saying. Luke 11:24. When an unclean spirit has gone out of a man, he walks through the dry places seeking rest. And finding none, he says, I will return to my house, that I came out of. And when he comes back to that house, he finds it swept and garnished, all put in order. And then he goes and he takes with him 7 other spirits more wicked than himself. And they enter in and they dwell there. And the last state of that man is worse than the first. Now, you know how I go to the Bible Hub and I go and I look at the original language and we break it down. I'm not going to do that, I don't think. I might if we have to. But this word unclean, when an unclean spirit, the word is in your Strong's Concordance, G for Greek, 169er. Akathartos. What does akathartos mean? Well, akathartos, as it sounds, comes from 2 words, aka and thartos. Arca means not. Thartos means pure or clean. So when they say the unclean spirit, they're saying that which is not pure. So they're not talking about a demon in your classic sense. What this Jesus character is talking about is the wrong spirit from the viewpoint of the writer or the speaker, in this case, the Jesus character. They want you to think that you're born with original sin, that you're born with wickedness and evil and nastiness within. But the reality is that you are born with the spark of divinity within. There's nothing in you unclean to come out of you. But from the context of the Jesus character, the dancing bear made up boogeyman of the Bible, there is no Jesus. There was no Jesus. But this Jesus character says, you got the wrong spirit in you. It's wrong from the viewpoint of the Bible writer. The only thing wrong with the spirit that is naturally, originally in you is that it's not clean in the opinion of Judeo-Christianity. The spirit that is in us is not his spirit, so he can't control it. That's why they say it's impure, and that's why they try to get you to eject that spirit from yourself. And you have to actually study to get this, because when it says an unclean spirit, that's just our great pagan, heathen spirit. That's our divinity, our sovereignty, our freedom, our great, what some of you, and I get so sick and tired of you little sniveling, bun-wearing, man bun-wearing, fat, Cheeto-eating, vegan, video game playing, I get so sick of listening to these freaking soy boys bash boomers. We started the truth movement. You ruined it. Now we got to come back out of retirement and fix it again. So anyway, that spirit of our rugged individualism that you game playing, man bun wearing Cheeto crunchers have no idea of, hey, Smoochie. That's the issue. And when it says gone out, it's not cast out. They make you think, oh, it's a demon cast out. No, gone out in the Greek means to go out or come out. There's no connotation of force. And in fact, there can't be any force involved. It's got to be of your free will. Christianity is designed to get you to give up that original pagan, heathen, Aryan, call of the blood, rugged individualism, divine, sovereign, and free spirit. It's to get you to give it up willingly. That's why they want you to get up out of your seat in the church. Come down to the front of the altar. Get on your knees in a position of surrender. Raise your hands in a position of surrender. Kneel before an emblem of human torture, a cross. What happened on that cross? It's Christ's insanity. What happened on the cross? At the cross where I first saw the light. What happened at the cross? Here's what happened at the cross. The crucifixion has set the default morality for this entire Western world. That's why I've got to take time out of my schedule, leave my pretty wife, miss a deprogram to go downtown and protest psychopathic animals that are putting on a drag show for children, because you are too stupid to figure out what the crucifixion is. I shouldn't have said stupid. The crucifixion has set the standard foundational morality for the Western world. What does the crucifixion say? For God so loved the world. Don't you love the world? For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. God so loved the world that he gave his own Son for what? To be sacrificed. If God gave his own Son to be sacrificed, who are you not to give your son, your daughter, to sacrifice? But it doesn't stop there. That's only part of the crucifixion. The other part of the crucifixion is you eat his flesh, you drink his blood. If you're a Catholic, you admit it. If you're a Roman Protestant, you're a liar. You say, oh, it's just symbolic. Oh, so you just symbolically eat his flesh. You just symbolically drink his blood. Congratulations. So if God gave his Son to be sacrificed, who are you to withhold your son and daughter to be sacrificed? And if God continually gives his only Son to have his flesh eaten and consumed by others, to have his blood drank by others, then who are you to withhold the blood and flesh of your children? Wow. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's why they're having drag shows for children, because you are worshiping a dead rabbi on a stick, the guy that said, if you don't eat my flesh and drink my blood, then there's no life in you. You want to look around and wonder why there's so much child abuse, there's so much child trafficking, there's so much death and destruction. The transsexuals are having it's your fault, Christians. You set the foundational morality for this world, and now you're bitching about it. It's your fault. That's why I'm the Christian whistleblower, and that's why we're going to win, because we're right and you're wrong, and we're sick and tired of it. We have allowed you to cause us to cast out our own spirit of divinity, sovereignty, and freedom. We're done. We're back, baby. And once you got us to cast out our spirit of divinity, sovereignty, and freedom, you sent 7 other of your filthy, dirty, rotten spirits back into us. And because we were stupid, you know, if it had been out in the forest wearing robes around a fire, we would have known it was demonic possession. But because it's in a nice church, we think it's okay now. It's holy. And you know, I've been begging, pleading, doing everything I can to get Christians to come on this program and answer simple questions like, if Jesus is the Prince of Peace, and why did he say he came to bring a sword and not peace? And why is he coming back in Revelation 19:15 to kill all Gentiles if he's supposed to be the Prince of Peace? I've been asking for 10 years at least. None of them will show up. Well, guess what? I'm through asking. I'm coming to you, pastors. I'm coming to you, churches. Coming soon to a church near you, a guy with a camera saying, hey, pastor, right at the end of service in the church, hey, pastor, how come, is Jesus the Prince of Peace? Yes. Well, then why did he come to bring a sword? Why does he come to bring division in families? Why is he coming back to kill everybody? I know I'm going to get manhandled and thrown out of churches, but I tried to be nice. I tried to ask you. You wouldn't show up, so I'm coming to you. Get ready. And some of you big Christian YouTubers, you pastors, you won't talk to me. You say where your churches are. After we eject our divine, sovereign, and free spirit, you send back 7 of your disembodied spirits to come into us. All Christianity is a warping of the pagan, heathen will to create an esoteric economy that is used to bleed us dry for the rest of our existence as a being, and they can legally say you agreed because you did. You agreed to vacate your original essence of pagan and heathen ancestors, gods and goddesses. You agreed to trample on the ashes of your fathers. You agreed to profane the temples of your gods. You agreed to accept the Jesus entity and the Father entity into your life. You agreed to their 7-fold possession. Oh, it's called the anointing. Now they can tell you for the rest of your life that you're possessed, it's your fault, and they are your only hope. Wow. The entire Abrahamic Bible, Old and New Testaments, is nothing but a story of extraterrestrial manipulation and domination of this human reality. I need to say thank you to some people here that I neglected to on our last D program. What is this? I'm calling you. Da 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 da. We can process. Okay, I got to do. That's something else. What is this? Here we go. Vicky Lloyd, a $5 tip on Rockfin. Vicky Lloyd, another $5 tip on Rockfin. Jay Berry, a $5 tip on Rockfin. Clint Sparrow, $5. Going after Dinesh D'Souza and these people. They're a bunch of cowards. Super Galactic, $5. Jason Bowles, $20. Thank you. And I think I'm caught up. I appreciate it very, very much. The entire Abrahamic Bible is a manipulation of our reality. Their foreign cosmic history has produced worshipers and supplicants all throughout about the last 6,000 years. And it's a 4th-dimensional story that we've habitually integrated with our inner lives at their bidding to convince us that they are somehow above us, like the idea of space or heaven, that they're the chosen people and their God is above us. Their God's in heaven, right? Somebody ban that, please. I appreciate it. Even Jesus said, I am not of this world. What above means is finer, subtler, and unless you get a little smarts about you through spiritual practice, invisible to us while we're still physically here. This is what the script is disclosing through kosher disclosure. There's none so blind as those that refuse to see. They're laughing at you. They used to laugh at me, but not anymore. Not anymore. Have any of you noticed that it seems like the wall, the separation, the division, however you want to put it, the apparent wall, division, or separation between worlds seems to be thinning? I wonder if it's a function of time running out. I wonder if it is an aggregate function of enlightenment and optimization, allowing more eyes to become sighted again and more ears to restore their hearing again. I wonder. Some believe it's just a natural astrological occurrence. I don't. I'm with the author, Mr. Weigel, and I think it's been manipulated. And I think it's been manipulated by us getting it done. And it was manipulated beforehand as well. And if you look at the characters, many of them are operating with the intent of breaching a barrier to our reality, talking CERN and things of that nature. There's also been a concerted effort to weaken the human being as a biological instrument. There's been a concerted effort to weaken the human being as a biological instrument. We can't really go much further here. The chemicals being sprayed in the sky, barium, aluminum, and by the way, barium and aluminum on the periodic table of elements. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Barium and aluminum on the periodic table of elements, guess what they are? Ba is barium, Al is aluminum, Baal, Baal. Massive denigration of the nutritional content of our diet, and then damning the most nutritional optimization diet in the world, keto carnivore. They're trying to weaken the human aura. They're trying to weaken that barrier that protects us from the things getting into our consciousness. That's why focus, life, force, energy is so powerful, because it strengthens your aura. And when you have a strong aura, you have a barrier between that which is not you and that which is you. That's profound. That's a realization. And it's a curious thing about humans. We always imagine that everything's like us. Yet, it doesn't occur to us that this place called space and these other places within our realm, it's an ocean of invisible life that we can't see. And where we live is an island in an ocean. There's things in that ocean that seek to take our divinity, sovereignty, and freedom. And the weakening of our atmosphere is metaphorical to the aura around each human body. They want us to give them the keys to our realm so they can in turn give them to their dark allies so that we can be breached and overrun by the darkest of forces. I'm wondering, we talk all about pole shift or pole migration. What if that's more about us than it is about the realm? Just a thought. Just a thought. Hello, Carmen. The world is run by a dark, we'll call it dark, unbalanced is a better word, an unbalanced superclass that is both supernatural and highly scientific. Their culture revolves around rituals, and those rituals revolve around the summoning of extraterrestrial beings and doing bad things to children. This is the snapshot of our reality as we live here today. And you've got to remember, the word Satan, Lucifer, that's just words they use for you and me. And whenever you see people or hear people, other than these people that just don't have enough, they're just so unsophisticated. All they do is they're like a parrot. Polly want a cracker. They just repeat it. Cynthia watches these parrots on YouTube. They say whatever people teach them to say. Those are Christians. The words demon, Lucifer, Satan, whenever you hear those, realize they're coming from this extraterrestrial bunch known as Judeo-Christians. Know that it's commerce. And know that this race of extraterrestrials is known for nothing other and better and more than being in the business of business, commerce. They sit on top of it. Not only do they run government and entertainment and industry and education and law and on and on and on and on and on. They run hauntings and possessions and influencing the minds of human beings through their Judeo-Christian spiritual domination. There's no more time to dance around this topic. The stakes are too high, and we still have a chance of winning if we're willing to face it and deal with it. But it's not going to be easy. But why not spend your life fighting for something meaningful? Why not? Why not? The dark left-hand path has existed here for a long time in our reality. And there's reasons why they call it dark, and there's reasons why they call it left, because they want you to be afraid of it. They want you to be afraid of it. And strangely enough, they had to tell us about it. It's now part of the free will construct. The aggressive path will be our victory. It will be our victory. Now, London, England may well have been the inception point of extraterrestrials in this cycle of human history, defined as the last 1,000 or 2,000 years, really 1,000 years. You got to understand that 17th century Britain was probably the beginnings of this modern world. The Protestant movement had begun with Martin Luther in Germany. Germany was the original target, but the pagan Germans fought them off until they finally fled and ran to England. And with the advent of Protestantism, monarchies had to have their own Bible. No book, no authority. Listen to this. The King James Bible set the stage for the Judeo-Christian English-speaking world to become the powerhouse that it would become. The translation was done because King James ordered it to be done. The Church of England ordered it to be done. And it was a dramatic shift back to the Old Testament. It was the reincarnation of Yahweh within a breakaway Judeo-Christian sect. This is brilliant. I didn't write it. I wish I did. The King James Bible was written to be a Talmud for Gentiles. Amanda, thank you for joining us. Please, you shared your information. Let's move on. This is my show, not yours tonight. Please. I appreciate you being here, but let's stop with that, okay? It's a Talmud for Gentiles. It's just that simple. And that red screen means it's time for me to leave YouTube. It's time for me to leave YouTube. We will go finish it over in Rockfin, and I will put the URL over here as well, so you can come join us over at Rockfin. Rockfin is our go-to platform. We love Rockfin. It's not hard. It's super easy. Is it perfect yet? No. But they let us tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And that makes it worth anything that might be a little bit less than perfecto. So we're going to say goodbye to the Watchtower, Flee the Watchtower channel. We salute you for being here.